My name is Tanya Curry, and this is this week's Acumen Media Report. It's called Lights Out. South Africa is punch drunk. What a week, South Africa. There's so much news that I feel a little punch drunk. I suppose I should start at the beginning and just work my way through. But before I do, there's something that I've noticed that you haven't through all the noise in the crowd. Do you know which day of lockdown we are in? Most news media have removed the count from their screens and we don't even talk about it anymore. Does that mean we'll be in lockdown for the rest of our lives? I know it's level 1 and we don't really care. But by staying in lockdown, the government has far more control over us than they ever did. Surely it's time to end the lockdown. The rebuttal to this argument is that the fourth wave and the low vaccine turnout could result in further lockdown restrictions. We all know the truth though. The truth is, we've been in lockdown too long, and the fear of insurrection and protesting is still a huge opponent sitting in the political benches. The elections didn't go well. In fact, pretty much it hit rock bottom. That was on turnout and result. Ramaphosa said he was not desperate in his hunt for coalitions, and this was after the ANC had banged down doors of opposition parties and got turned away like bad salesmen. I'm sure that the ANC is not the largest disappointment to the voting public, though. Action SA is. Action SA's potential coalition with the DA is certainly our disappointment. We all know a vote for Action SA was a vote from a public that wanted an alternative to the DA. Not really the ANC. They've been done with the ANC for a while now. Zilla taunted Mashaba by posting a tweet of a news article where he had said in the past, no ANC coalition. You just know she stored that article on her phone waiting for those election results. Such a nasty way to go about negotiations, isn't it? Nah, not really. Herman swapped sides and is now going blue after that right hook. I really hate political parties. There is a saying, if democracy worked, they wouldn't give it to us. How is it possible that in a country that has produced Pulitzer Prize winners, Nobel Peace Prizes, and sent rockets to space, that we cannot find one group of humans that actually speaks for the majority when it comes to running our country? It really is time for electoral reform. I'm with Musi on this one. We were no sooner rising from the election hangover and the lights went off. Not only did the lights go out, but the country was plunged into the depths of stage 4 load shedding. Rumours on the social media streets were lit. We had been punished for our votes, said some. Others posted how many Eskom outlets were vandalised overnight. Another insurrection? None of these videos made news media though. Punch. Then they started calling for Durator's head. I'm more likely to gun for Godon. I mean, it was him that, after all, that led us to believe that we really did believe him, that the time had come for a new auditable broom to sweep clean. Let's talk about how that went for Godon. There's been more irregular expenditure, i.e. theft, than under Zuma's reign. Punched. What is it called? It shouldn't be called irregular expenditure. In fact, why is it even called load shedding? This thing is called a power outage, a blackout, a failed state, a failed SOE. Anyway, Durator came on the screen with a team of about 1,000 people and told us how Zambia was the problem. Huh? Zambia? Listen, Andre, we are done with constant fabrications of the truth. You then told us that Eskom is an old car and we need a new one. Someone call foul in this ring, please. Durator under Gordon has been sweeping clean for 2 years and in doing so has allowed more money to be stolen than ever before. Then they tell us that the massive amount of loaned money, our hard-earned money, has been poured into a car that doesn't even take fuel. If you spent all our money, how do we afford a new car? I say we, Andre, because your salary is not impacted and I bet you have solar panels on your house. Uppercut. Even Malefe, the man who made up the shebeen in Saxon world, called this exactly what it was. At the same time as this rubbish was devastating our country, it was announced that South Africa is going to focus on electric cars. I'm sorry, what? Punch drunk. The world is making a massive shift to clean energy with big decisions coming out of COP26, and we live in a sunshine South Africa, but the message from Gwede Matashe was, we need more coal. What? Are you high? Knockout. I'd no sooner shook my head so hard I thought it was going to fall off when I heard that Johannesburg was suffering a 54-hour water outage. I'm not calling this thing load shedding or shedding, water shedding. Come on, we're done with this manipulation of words. No water and no power in the financial hub of this country. It's like all the punishments were handed out at once because we didn't turn up for one class. TKO. Enter the most relieving story I've seen all year. The Motti brothers. They are safely home. Our household, like many households, rejoiced at the news. Those 4 children filled every timeline and most prayers in South Africa as we held our breath. 2 days before the children came home, 540 kilograms of cocaine was stolen from the Hawks. How is it possible to steal half a ton of cocaine from the Hawks? I jested that perhaps the Hawks had had an early Christmas party and that's why no work was being done, but then I came across this tweet that shook me. A tweeter called Vico Durban took the cocaine story, retweeted it with this message. The Motti brothers will be released now. Watch this space. That was 2 days before, and then it happened. They came home. The story was strange, and please forgive me for saying so. Children are kidnapped, raped, and are killed every single day in our country. And they only make headlines on a ticker strap you see at the bottom of your TV screen. Yet in this story, every mainstream media house ran with it and then did not offer any further speculation as to why it may have happened. That's strange journalism. Almost journalism with respect for lives and privacy. I liked it, but I found it odd. Whatever happened here, and we'll never know, I'm so grateful that those 4 children are safe. Thank you for some relief from this fight we call living in South Africa. F.W. de Klerk died this week. The last apartheid president left a message from the grave in a video address. He apologized unequivocally about separate development. Not apartheid, separate development. I grew up in apartheid, and I've never heard the term separate development before. It was apartheid. A unique South African invention of a word that killed souls and left a legacy of inequality that may never be repaired. Thank you for apologizing. From God we come, and to God we return. It is not right to speak ill of the dead just after their demise. I leave this for when we look back after some time, a bit like the nation reflects on Mandela today. Athol Williams, a whistleblower at state capture, left the country and wrote an open letter to the president saying that he and his family were at risk with little or no protection from our legal system. He feared that he was the next Babita Decorum. Isn't that terrifying? The message is clear. Snitches get stitches in SA politics. The fight is fixed. Midterm budget speech 21 filled our screens. I couldn't even focus after the boxing rounds we'd gone through with Eskom, but Enoch Gonogwane delivered his first budget speech with little fanfare. Most analysts said nothing to see here. I didn't try to get further than the message that 28 million of South Africans' population, that's 46% of the nation, is living on social grants. Punch drunk. COVID and vaccine boosters are all the rage. Even child vaccines are being administered without parental consent. Apparently, there is definitely a third jab from Pfizer, and now they've released a J&J booster. I'm not going for it. I don't need a vaccine loyalty card. This is not Starbucks. And I may have been in the ring, but I'm firmly in the audience now. No to vaccine mandate is a resounding call from South Africa. I suppose they'll get to me in the end, because no one leaves a fight club. Serial killer Nomia Ndlovu got 6 life sentences. That didn't stop her turning to her family in the court to say, I'll be back for you. Southpaw. Pistorius is due for parole and Steenkamp family won't meet with him. Well, of course not. I'm sure they'd rather see him at the bottom of the ring. Internationally, Travis Scott held an Astro World concert where people died and he kept on singing. There was a stampede because of people breaking the concert barriers and entering without authorized access. Did Travis stop the concert? No. This man sang while people died. He sang from a tower on the stage as people were trampled to death, and he relished it. When the ambulance arrived, he encouraged people to dance on it. What is happening? What kind of a match is this? I have to end with something positive before I get told I'm a grouch again. It's my birthday tomorrow, and I'm going diving. And I'm taking the week off. I'm leaving that potato bass for some shark diving. Am I nervous? No, not at all. I'm a South African. Sharks don't eat divers. They're not boxing politicians. I'm Tanya Curry, and you've just scratched the surface with Acumen Media over 7 days.